Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another Monday night live chat. So, let me get comfy here. How is everybody doing? It's another sunny day here in the northeast of England. It's been a little bit wet this morning, but it's a bit warm again this evening. Just reading in the chat there. We've got a few people in already. And Mr. Spooky Thang, Tony said, ooh, the ominous music has started. I normally leave that to kind of run for a little bit, just kind of sort of give people a little bit of a chance to get in. But you guys are starting to get in early now. You're starting to be in there even before I've started. So we had Mark, we had Mark in, was first earlier on. He said he keeps missing my test message. When I first set it up, I always put a test in just to make sure that the chat comes up on the side here. And then I delete it. So yeah, you keep missing it. We've got Kyle's in this evening as well. Hello, mate. How you doing? Hope you're all right. We've got Stephen from Steve's Small World. Good evening, Steve. Hope you're well too. Then we've got Mark coming back to say good evening. We've got Jens in saying hello, you mold lines. Good evening to you too, Jens. We've got Phil Wilkinson in as well. Says bonjour. Bonjour to you too, Philippe. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. We've got Nick Zaremba in. He says, we'll do it live. Nice to see you, Nick. Hope you're well, my friend. Then we've got Tony in about the music. We've got Adam in as well. In saying there, R.I.P. to Barry Chuckle. He was a legend. He was a legend, to be fair. All jokes aside and everything else that's been kicking about. He was a bit of an entertainer, to be fair. We've got Tim Killian. Says, hi, Andy and all. Good evening to you, Tim. I think you're all... I can't remember where you said you were, but you're certainly in a hotel somewhere with work, I think, aren't you? We've got Neil in as well. It says, hi to everyone. Good evening, Neil. How are you doing? Are you going to use this as a place to sell all of those games that you want to get rid of tonight? We'll have like a little selling chat down the side. We've got the RJ McFerrin. I think that might be you, Rob. Is it from the chat, from the Facebook group earlier on this evening? Good evening, buddy. Hope you're well. We've got Jamie in as well. Good evening, Jamie. And Phil says, I'm good, thank you. Hope you're well. I'm pretty good, all things considered, Phil. Thanks very much. I've got a little bit of a red face of sitting out in the sunshine yesterday. I went for a coffee early in the morning, sitting outside in the sunshine. My son was sitting opposite me in the shade, and I seemed to get it full force in the face. Then we came back home, decided to have a game of Kill Team, sitting outside in the garden. And again, I kind of sat there, didn't even think about lotion. I've got a bit of a red head today, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We've got Tim says he's working away in Brighton, currently building Plague Guard and Marines. So yeah, I'm guessing, Tim, that you're on the Kill Team bandwagon as well, mate. And we've also got Skull Munch, who's just popped in and said, "Hey, BlackJack, good evening, Skull Munch." What I find really strange, and I'm not sure if you guys will kind of see this, is that sometimes you guys are in my Facebook group and you have different names when you're in here. And I don't always know if you're the same person. So Skullmunch, you come in quite often and always chat in here. Do I know you by another name, or do you just come into the live chats? I'm not really sure. I just wanted to double check. We've got Michael in as well from Miniature Peyton. Says, hello there, mates. Good evening to you, buddy. And Rob's saying, yeah, that's me. Looking forward to it. Good chat whilst painting up some zombies. Are those Walking Dead zombies you're doing, mate? Are they? I assume so. Michael says, Shrimp Man, how are you? Shrimp Man. Interesting. Neil says, roll up, come and see my apples and pears decent games. I can just imagine you with a bit of a Cockney sales bar there, mate, when you're seeing that. Jens says, we enjoyed the sun in a park and the zoo today, and then back home into the pool. How very continental of you, Jens. We don't get pools in the UK. We sometimes get puddles, and we sometimes have ponds, but a pool's really pushing it, I think. So, tonight, we haven't really got a topic tonight. What I thought was, there's a lot going on. We've got plenty of things to talk about. We'll keep it wide open. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to have a chat about tonight. There's plenty of stuff happening. No doubt we'll touch on Kill Team. Plenty of stuff happening. We've got Adeptus Titanicus, I should say, coming out very soon. So that's another good one. We've got the announcement of Horizon Zero Dawn from Steamforged. That's coming along later on this year. Wow, we've obviously got Gen Con with a load of stuff going on. Somebody posted today about a Wacky Races card and board game that was at Gen Con this weekend. So yeah, plenty of stuff going on. Yen says Gen Con's just ended. Yeah, I think there was a stat that I'd heard yesterday, and I don't think I really realized. I knew Gen Con was big, but what I didn't realize was basically the Baltimore Colts, their stadium in Indianapolis. Indianapolis Colts, I assume it must be there now. It used to be Baltimore Colts. They use their pitch, their football pitch, for the open gaming place. That just shows how big Gen Con's become these days. So yeah, crazy. We've got Devious2K saying different names. That's Jamie. It always confuses me when he starts putting in a different account. Michael says, give me a reason to open up my Shadespire box, Andy. I'll give you a reason, Michael. It's a bloody good game. There you go. You don't need another reason than that. It's a bloody good game. Get it out and play it, even if you never buy anything else. But just crack open that core set. You'll have a good game with it. Michael saying, Adam is saying there, so I Spy or Hangman, as they're not 175 quid for a starter set. Yes, something tells me that might be something we touch on tonight. The price of Adeptus Titanicus. Now, I know it was Games Workshop always mentioned it was going to be their most expensive boxed game ever. And I definitely think it's aimed at the hardcore fanatics who remember the original game. But yeah, even 175 quid is quite a wedge to pull out for a board game, isn't it? Yen says Wild West Exodus is so nice. Yeah, somebody else mentioned. I think it might have been Nick was saying about mentioning Wild West Exodus tonight as well. So we'll have a chat about that. I don't know a great deal about it, so if anybody else wants to chat about it as well, feel free and we'll bring that up. We've got Mark saying, has anyone played Dungeon Saga? Looking into it, as I don't have a dungeon crawler anymore. I'm sure Michael will be able to point you in the right direction there with some Mantic stuff. And Skullmunch says, this is the name on all accounts. I'm assuming you're not in the Facebook group in Skullmunch, otherwise I would probably know you by a different name. But you're always welcome, buddy. Always welcome. Jamie says, Wild West Exodus was ruined for me. I bought the starter set and was out of date before I opened it. I remember me and you have had a chat about this, Jamie, before, and I was kind of in that similar kind of vein where the rules were still being updated, even though they were selling starter sets and everything else, which felt a little bit weird. I do understand it's settled down now, but is that too little too late for people that kind of got in a bit earlier when we did? So Kyle says, never mind Adeptus Titanicus, try Knockout. I'm going to have to find that picture, Kyle, now from Facebook. Kyle, he's what I think it was your wife, Kyle, wasn't it? That basically bought like a board game type thing from a charity shop for the kids to play. And the kids didn't get anywhere near it. It was straight on there. They were playing it themselves over a bottle of wine. So let's see if I can find that picture, because it was a cracking picture, mate. It was. It looked like a really fun game. I'll kind of flick around in the background there while we search this group. There we go. Find that your picture. There it is. Let's flick across to here. So this was Kyle's. Never mind Adeptus Titanicus and your 175 quid. £1.50 from the charity shop. Knockout. It's even got a motorized Rammer Hammer. There you go. If ever I was going to get demonetized for saying anything, Rammer Hammer is probably the one I'll get demonetized for. So as you can see, nice little blocks there. You could probably even use, I mean, there's probably more plastic in there than there is in Adeptus Titanicus as well, to be fair. And you don't get motorized hammer rammers, do you, with Games Workshop stuff. And I'm guessing the idea is you got to knock those things out. That looks fantastic, mate. Really, really good fun. What else we got here? So Jens says, yeah, I saw the new rule book. Hate that. Yeah, I thought it was strange because when the starter sets for Wild West Exodus come out, it definitely felt like, this is the new rules. Now, they'd been through about 12 months of kind of testing and different versions of the rules. So I'm surprised they kind of printed rule books and sent them all out as well. To anybody that had already had the first edition, they sent new second edition books out to them. it seems strange that they then kept changing the rules so fast after that. At least let it settle for a while, maybe 12 months later or whatever. But hey, that's the way they're doing their game. We've got Rain McCollerin says, I hope I've pronounced your name right there. Is it Rain? Hey there, greetings from Finland. I'm new to your channel. Enjoyed your Kill Team content a lot. Thank you very much, Rain. You're always welcome to the live chats. Tonight we'll be chatting a bit more about Kill Team as well tonight, no doubt, because it's encompassing my gaming time at the minute. I've got a few more videos lined up as well for Kill Team, so yeah, stay tuned to the channel. You definitely get some more Kill Team information. We've got Christian in, says, evening all. Sorry I'm a bit late. Never apologise for being late, mate. It's always nice to have you here. I hope you're enjoying your holiday as well. I'm sure there's much better things to be doing on holiday than sitting watching my my shiny head tonight. Michael says, well, I have it. Never started it. Seems to be loads of fun while remaining simple. I tell you what, Michael. Oh, we're talking about Dungeon Saga. I thought we were talking about Wild West Exodus there. Yeah, Dungeon Saga. Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say it was basic. It's just a simple rule set, and you kind of sort of. It's more about having the fun, isn't it? A good story. Tim saying he's not tried it, but he does play Descent, cracking dungeon crawler with a great app integration. It always makes me want to try Imperial Assault when I see people talking about Descent, because I know Imperial Assault is just a Star Wars skin on top of Descent with a few kind of tweaks and a few improvements. And again, there's the app that allows you to play single player as well. But excuse me, getting involved in that is another deep dark hole, isn't it? Jamie saying they've just started a Dungeon Saga campaign. Rob saying Dungeon Saga is great. Currently working through painting up the whole kit. Adam says welcome to Rin. Kyle saying £1.50. Best £1.50 you've ever spent on gaming, mate, I bet. That's just moved very quickly there. Jens is saying Swords and Sorcery is a great crawler. Not very familiar with that, mate. Mark says Descent is a Fantasy Flight games. I assume it is, but I never associate it with Fantasy Flight randomly. I don't know why. Michael's having a conversation in a foreign language. Lost me a long time ago there. Steve says Descent's great. Tiles and minis are good as well. Jamie agreeing as well. What else we got? Jamie saying big core changes to Wild West Exodus put me off. Plenty of stable skirmish games to play. And that is kind of the point, isn't it? In order to stand out in today's gaming market, you've got to have a solid rule set and decent miniatures. They don't have to be amazing miniatures. They don't even have to be an amazing rule set. But it does need to be kind of relatively balanced. It needs to be relatively tight. And the miniatures need to be good quality, or at least the theme needs to make you want to paint the miniatures. So I use Walking Dead, I think, as a really good example. And I keep coming back to it. I keep coming back to Walking Dead every time, because I find it is almost a kind of, I hasten to say the perfect game, but it's just that right balance of everything, where it's a small scale, it's kind of a low cost buy-in, the theme's there, the miniatures are excellent, the rules are simple, you can play solo, you can play two-player, you can play multiplayer. The Walking Dead ticks a lot of boxes for me. With things like Wild West Exodus, the rules are not that simple. I'm sure once you've been playing for a while, it all clicks and it all makes perfect sense. But there's a hell of a lot of modifiers of up and down, and there's just a lot to keep track of. And it felt for me personally, whilst I love the miniatures are fantastic. Just felt like the rule set was a bit in depth for me to just drop in and out of over time. Skullmunch is saying Gloomhaven always be my pick for a dungeon crawler. My partner would pick Hero Quest though. Hero Quest. I must get my Hero Quest stuff painted up at some point. I've been working away at a model here and there every now and again when I fancy a bit of a change of pace of painting. I will get through all my original Hero Quest and their expansions and paint them up. Mark's agreeing, he loved it as well. Steve saying if he didn't play D&D, would have got Gloomhaven. I think Gloomhaven it's a big investment in time, I think, isn't it? Definitely. Just going to have a drink here in my new tankard here, very kindly sent to me from Ross, who is EH Gaming at ehgaming.com. He just sent me an Ultramarines tankard there to complement my Ultramarines kill team, of which I know that I'll show you a picture of it in a little bit as well. Rian says watching, listening to you rambling about stuff and painting my admechs from Kill Team starter set, which is my first ever miniatures game. We'll have a test game tomorrow, can't wait. So if it's your first ever miniatures game, Rain, what attracted you to it? What was... I'm assuming you were aware of Games Workshop and 40k before Kill Team. So why is Kill Team your first miniatures game rather than something else? And do you play board games, or is this just your first ever sort of venture into tabletop gaming? Tony is saying Jens Gloomhaven isn't really a crawler, it's a Euro puzzle type game with fantasy theme and campaign. I would like to try it, I think, but I just don't have the time or the kind of gaming group to make a real kind of campaign of it. Tim says Gloomhaven coming out digitally soon. Saw a trailer from Gen Con. Now that is interesting, because I assume if it's coming out digitally, you'll be able to play solo as well. So that could be very, very interesting. I also saw that Asmodee, who own Fantasy Flight, had a Steam sale on at the minute as well, and they've got a lot of their digital games are on sale at the moment. So it could be worth checking those out. Michael says, are we talking Wild West Exodus version 1 to 2? And Jamie saying no, version 2 to 2 point whatever. Yeah, so I think Jamie and I we both had have games at a Wild West Exodus demo day, which was at at Asgard War Games in Middlesbrough. We both were there for the demo day, and certainly at that point it was probably 2.02, 2.03 or something at that point, and it's shifted on since then as well. So even the version 2 rulebooks that you get in the starter sets are not the latest kind of rules anymore randomly. Tony saying Descent was the basis for Imperial Assault rule set. That's what I thought it was, buddy. Jamie says it reminded me of 7th edition 40k, lots of special rules. Yeah, it did. It does feel a little bit bloated. It almost feels like it's ready for a kind of a fresh rule book already, doesn't it? Michael saying, because if you look at the back reps, it looks quite nice to play, and I'm starting to fall in love with Wild West Exodus. The miniatures, Michael, are absolutely beautiful. I will not kind of argue with you on that one. The miniatures are fantastic. I love the theme of that kind of sci-fi Wild West steampunky feel. Definitely kind of, it itches the scratch. Is that right? Scratches the itch. It scratches the itch that Malifaux used to when I used to play that. But yeah, the rules just feel like they've shifted a bit too much. Yen says he's got Walking Dead, Legion, and now Kill Team. More is too much. I even haven't played Legion only 2 times, and I think I have to concentrate more on finishing Walking Dead. It does get like that, Jens. I have to say, I'm trying very much. I think it's a little bit different for me because I feel like I need to kind of cover more things because it's more. That's kind of how my hobby is. So if I just focused on The Walking Dead, for example, I think I would probably get a little bit bored of it, and that would come across in my videos. I like to do lots of different things, but I am realizing that I need to narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 big games that are popular and that I enjoy as well. So yeah, I'll still cover all my board game and stuff, and we'll still cover all the news and new stuff that's coming out. But I'm not sure that my videos won't be like, oh, here's a new game, I'm playing this week. Oh, here's another new game, I'm playing that this week. Tony is saying to Tim, yep, caught my eye, single player, apparently not sure how it'll be implemented, but could be good. Yeah, nice one for when you're on the road maybe, or sort of traveling a lot. Rain is saying, yeah, I have a board gaming background, started painting those minis, and then somehow got sucked into the GW world. Bought also the AOS starter, mostly because the models look amazing. The models do look really nice, actually, for AOS and the starters. I assume, do you mean the recent Soul Wars starter with the Nighthaunt and the Stormcast in? So Kyle, who's in the chat here tonight, probably very quiet because he'll be sitting painting away in the background, very kindly gave me the Nighthaunt side of one of the starter sets for Age of Sigmar. One of the, I forget what it's called. Is it? It's not Storm Strike, is it? I've got that name in my head, but that could be one of the 40k sets. But one of the smaller ones, because he won one in a competition on Facebook. He plays Stormcast Eternals, so he very kindly donated the other ones to me. I think they're absolutely fantastic models, I'll be honest, the Nighthaunt. And when I get a few kill teams sorted, I probably have a little sit and paint them in the background, really. It would be nice if AOS had a kind of kill team type size, and I know we've talked about this before, Storm Strike, just so it's jump up at the bottom of the screen there. It'd be nice if they had like a small scale AOS game as well at some point in the future. And I think the success of kill teams probably caught Games Workshop off guard a little bit, because it really has seemed to have hit the ground running, and it wouldn't surprise me if AOS gets a similar kind of treatment at some point soon. Jens says the only thing I want this month is Fallout Wasteland because of the solo mode. I've still never got round to having a go of Fallout Wasteland. It was pretty busy when I was at UK Games Expo, and I never did manage to get down to London to see Modiphius. But I must admit, it feels like it's been on the back burner for so long. It's almost been pushed out by so many more games. It's really hard, isn't it? You almost need to not announce it too early, because then the hype builds and then dies down, and by then everybody's gone and spent other stuff. There's a real knack to getting the hype right, I think. If you think about people like Games Workshop with Kill Team, they mentioned it was coming a long time ago, and then you just heard nothing, and then kind of out the blue, bang, right, it's coming in a month, and every day we're going to give you some information up to pre-order day. They did the same thing with AOS 2, didn't they, as well? Jens, yep, so Rain is saying Kill Team will be easier to get to the table, mostly because of the model count and the fact that it will actually fit on my table. Yeah, I'm like that as well. I quite like to just kind of to game just kind of in the house a little bit. I've got a big table in my garage. My garage needs a hell of a lot of work just to get it to a point where it's kind of where you can even get around the table. To be honest, it's full of boxes and stuff from when I moved house. So yeah, Kill Team definitely ticks a lot of boxes for me too. We've got Anthony from Revenant Tabletop Gaming. Good evening, Anth. How you doing, my friend? Tim's here. Oh, sorry, Michael is saying he's got the Walking Dead collectors here. Going to speed paint the dead minis black and white, and the rest will be living colours. That'll be quite nice. It'll be very easy to see them on the board that way. Tim is saying you can play Gloomhaven solo as well. It's definitely a dungeon crawler RPG. Time for the campaign would take months. I thought, you know what? I actually, after I'd said that about the digital game, I thought you could play it solo, but it feels like a very expensive solo game. I will say that. Jens is saying to Michael he started to paint them grey, black and white as well. Michael says small scale AOS is called Vanguard, mate. Yes, to be honest, Vanguard is coming soon, and I also saw from Nick's videos as well, and I forget the name of Nick's channel, Broken Legion of Gamers. I've just remembered it because he was the last person to donate to me down below here. So Broken Legion of Gamers has just mentioned on his channel that anybody that backed the Vanguard Kickstarter with Mantic are getting them early, so it was expected in November and they're actually delivering at the end of September. So that's good to see a Kickstarter delivering early. And actually, I did read the rules. Mantic sent me out the rules for Vanguard, and it did seem really interesting. I'll be honest, there was some quite nice little mechanics in that game. But because it went to Kickstarter, it was so far away, I almost felt I couldn't. I either backed the Kickstarter and then had to wait for the models, or I started buying models now and started building them ready for Vanguard, which felt like a million years away. So it's something I think I'll probably pick up the rules just to have a look through them. And who knows, I might pick up a small kind of Vanguard force over time as well. Mark is saying they started a gaming group at work, only a couple of gamers and the rest are newbies. So need games that are simple and engaging. Well done, Mark. It's quite a hard thing to start up a gaming group at the best of times, but to start up with workmates as well is probably even harder. So congratulations on getting that going. Are you looking for board games, mate? Are you looking for sort of card games, miniature games? What kind of games are you getting them into, or what are you playing at the minute with them? Michael saying, Jens, it's easier to see who are the characters and the dead as well. Yeah, definitely would be. Jimmy says, well, not really. Vanguard is just 1,000 points matched player. I think it means Kings of War Vanguard, don't you, mate? I think that's what it meant. Jens, you have a chat. We've got Andrew Paces come in. Good evening, Andrew. How are you doing, my friend? Says hello to one and all. Tony is saying to Mark, he's asking the same question I did. Michael says it's awesome to take down a big mini with a normal mini with the exploding 8. I do like that, to be fair, in Mantic games. I like that exploding 8 mechanic. Kyle says, putting together my first Forge World model. Oh, this is your big secret project, isn't it, mate? Are you gonna let slip in the chat here what your project is or not? Forge World stuff, I must admit, I struggle with it. It doesn't fit together the best. It takes a lot of preparation. The models are fantastic. If you've got the time and the patience with all the green stuff and the kind of sticking them in hot water and straightening them out and everything else, it's they're absolutely beautiful sculpt. But yeah, they do take a lot of work. And I just saw that. Nope, not letting anything slip. Yeah, I'm assuming, Kyle, is this a new Age of Sigmar army that you're doing, or is it new? Is it Forge World stuff for an existing army? I'm not sure which one you're doing it. So Jens is saying he's just posted something in the group, so we'll flick across to the group here. So here's Jens's these black and white walkers. I do quite like that, Jens. It'll definitely kind of stand out on the table, especially if as Michael says about doing the kind of the coloured survivors. Quite a nice kind of comic book black and white feel to that, mate. I like them. Nicely done, buddy. Nicely done. So we've got Mark saying to Tony, board games as there's 5 to 8 players. Says currently werewolves, resistance, party game, zombie side. Tried a few shade spies but struggled with that. I would definitely say me and the wife, that sounds awful, isn't it? Me and my good lady wife have been playing a lot of that Brothers game that I got for review. If anybody hasn't seen it, you can check out on the YouTube channel. There's a review of a game called Brothers, and we've been playing it constantly ever since I reviewed it. Really, really enjoyed it. So, and that is a very simple rule set as well. So it's something I would recommend. I think it's probably about 15 quid as well, max. So it's not exactly on the expensive side of board games as well. We've got Mike Retro Vertigo in. Good evening, Mike. How are you doing, mate? Mike is a guy local to me. We're actually having a game of Kill Team on Wednesday night. We need to sort out the details, mate. But yeah, still looking forward to the game. And he's also a phenomenal painter as well. He'll probably say he's not and be all humble, but he is a fantastic painter. So yeah, I'm assuming you're asking Kyle there if he's building a Warlord Titan. That'll look great in a Stormcast army. We've got Flip Movie Maker in. Good evening to Flip Movie Maker. How are you doing, buddy? Adam says he's got 2 days of board and card games this weekend for your birthday. It's your birthday and you haven't even invited me down, mate. I thought we could have had a game. Just playing Cards Against Humanity with my parents and partner was hilarious. I played Cards Against Humanity at New Year's Eve with my brother and sister-in-law. That was an interesting game. Night of Gamers as well. Night of Games, I should say. Tim says, try Gaslands, 1 card each on the office desk. Cheapest chips. Just imagine playing Gaslands around the boardroom table. We've got Broken Legions of Gamers in. Good evening, Nick. We've just been talking about you, buddy. It says, hey, Gaze, just popping in for a little. I just mentioned that you've got your, on your YouTube channel, you were talking about Vanguard is delivering early. We've got, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce it. Is it K Melkian? Is that right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Says, first of all, I'll say good evening. Welcome to the chat tonight. Says, I'm loving Star Wars Legion, but I'm so close to pulling the trigger on Kill Team. 45-minute game on weekends instead of a 4-hour game would make my wife very happy. That's kind of where I am. I did have a game of Legion this week with my son. So one of my twin sons came over to stay during the week. So Sam came over and we had a game of Star Wars Legion on Wednesday night. I kicked his ass. He wasn't best pleased about it. And then his brother came and stayed over at the weekend as well. And me and Adam played Kill Team at the weekend. Which one would I say I preferred? So having played them both this week, I would say that Star Wars rules were probably more straightforward, I would say. Is that probably right? Yeah, I would say they were probably more straightforward. There wasn't quite so many kind of rolling to hit, rolling to wound. Because the modifiers are... You've got custom dice, really. So it's quite easy to see whether you've hit. There's not the tables to kind of to have to look at really to see if you're hitting or wounding or what your toughness is and your strength. So I would say Star Wars Legion was probably a little bit more simple, but I would probably say that I enjoyed Kill Team more. I love Star Wars. I love the theme of it. It felt like playing a Star Wars game on a tabletop, and it was nice with nice scenery and everything else as well. But I like the fact that Kill Team, we were done and dusted in 45 minutes. There was a point in the Star Wars game where it was pretty obvious I was going to win. And I felt like Sam was just going through the motions just to get to the end of the game. Kill Team didn't feel like it's over with so quick. You're almost going, right, let's go again. Michael says he has an urge to say I fought unicorns. I always thought you fought at rainbows, mate. Something to do with the Dutch, is it? It's all the space cakes and stuff. Oh, it's the heat. Sorry, I thought it might have been due to some sort of drugs. Mike shouting Kill Team there. Mark saying he's just wanting to win it. Yeah, so anybody that doesn't know, I have a Facebook group called Randomly Blackjack Legacy Tabletop Gaming. And there is a competition at the moment. So let's flick across. There's a competition there to win a board game at the moment. So let's flick across so you can see it. This is the one that Michael wants to win. So this is Brothers, the board game that I reviewed on the channel. So you can go across, check the review out. And then why there'll be a question here, like where you need to come and enter. And this is where I'm going to pull the winner from. So the winners are going to come from the Facebook group rather than YouTube for a change. You'll understand why the question is what the question is if you head across and watch the review. So yeah, you got to be in it to win it. Kyle is saying, who says it's Stormcast? I would assume it isn't, mate. If it's a Warlord Titan. I'm guessing then you must be thinking about doing a new army. Then starting a new army with Forge World sounds like it's going to be an expensive hobby. That one, mate. Mike says, I'm not, I'm humble. That's a good way to put it, mate. But you are a good painter, mate. I'll be honest. There's a lot of your stuff just always it kind of inspires me to want to try something different. You've got a style with your painting that I really, really kind of like, and I wish I could kind of almost mimic. We've got Jens is saying Gaslands. Read that so often, have to check it out. Mark is saying to Tim, just do have the rules, just need to build up. I would try. Tony is saying King of Tokyo, Camel Up, code names, maybe move on to stuff like Lords of Waterdeep later. Yeah, definitely stick with kind of 15 to 30 minute, fast paced games where you can kind of, if you're getting beat or you're not quite sure what you're doing, the game's almost over and you're back in the next one. Love Letters is a great game. Exploding Kittens, where you can play with kind of multiple people as well. That kind of stuff, I would definitely start there and kind of build them into it. Kim Melkian says you got it right. Oh, thank you very much. Colt Express is another one. Tony suggesting. Yen says Twilight Imperium. Played it 2 times. It takes 10 to 12 hours. I can't believe it. I think I would struggle to play one board game for 10 to 12 hours. It would need to be kind of like a weekend away somewhere where there's a bar and you can have a few drinks and someone can bring you food and like kind of waitress service and you can kind of sit there and chill. And I don't think I could kind of sit in the house like and just play it for 10 to 12 hours. Broken Legion of Gamers, Nick saying thank you for the plug, buddy. Just doing what I can to get the word out. We all do that, mate. We all do that. Mike saying, just joined the group. Please accept my Andy. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's have a look. I think it's automatically accepted you, mate, because I think if you've got friends who are in the group already, I think it automatically accepts you. But let's have a check just to make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty. Oh, there it is. One person wants to join this group. There we go. Approve, decline, approve. Yeah, you're in, buddy. You're in. Adam says he's got Twilight Imperium game booked in for September. And I guess you'll come back in October and tell us how it went. Tony says, loving the new mug, mate. Yeah, it was a gift. It came in the post today. I got this in a bowl as well. It was a very nice gift there from Ross at ehgaming.com. He asked me what my army was for Kill Team, and I said I was doing an Ultramarine army. And he said, well, I'm going to send you a gift. So he sent me out this. Not too bad, is it? Thank you very much, Ross. I know you sometimes watch this back on the after the live stream event. So thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. We've got Horrid Person in as well. Good evening, Gene. How you doing? Says, ouch, my attention span isn't much better than an hour, and that's pushing it. Yeah, I think I can probably... I'm all right with like kind of miniature gaming. I can do 2 or 3 hours if I've got the time. So, you know, if you're away at a tournament or something like that, I'm all right with that kind of stuff. I struggle with like board games that go on for kind of like 3-4 hours. Yeah, it's quite a tough one. Jens is saying, so have a nice evening and night. Have to leave you. Thanks very much for popping in, Jens. Always good to see you, buddy. Thanks a lot. And Steve is saying, later, Jens. Excuse me. So then, let's have a quick chat about Adeptus Titanicus then, eh? Let's see what comes up here. Because there's been a lot of chat about it. Let's fit across to here. So there's been a lot of chat about it, and it's this Grandmaster Edition that seems to be it seems to be getting people talking because of its price. Now the price of this unit, let's click it so it's a little bit bigger picture there. The price of it is 175 quid. So unbelievable, I'm giving a Bella Lost Soul a little bit of airtime there. Yeah, 175 quid. And obviously there's some places have discounts online as well. But it's going to be a big old box. There's been a few bits of unboxings of it as well from the Forge World there at Warhammer World. And what I would say is what you get in the box is probably worth the money. I think there's over 200 quid's worth of stuff in the box. So whether it's value for money or not, I think is kind of is irrelevant really. It's just the fact that it's bloody expensive. But I think the other side to realise is it is not aimed at a new kind of gamer. This is not where somebody would go, quite fancy giving miniature gaming a go. Oh, 175 quid looks like a good deal. That's not who this is aimed at. This is aimed at the people that played it originally, who really kind of are interested in it, have been longing for it to come back. The rules were actually written, or certainly part written, by James Hewitt, who has been doing the Hellboy game for Mantic. When he was at Games Workshop, these rules were done a long time ago, and I think the game was put on hold to allow them to do all of the Titans in plastics, because I think originally it was going to all be done in Forge World resins. So, what do you think? Is 175 quid? Is it taking the mick a little bit? Is it just way too expensive? Should they have kind of sold it as separate boxes? I mean, I know they are buying it as separate boxes, but do you just think that is almost kind of like a new level of like, wow, that's a lot of money kind of thing? What's your thought on that? Now, we've also got Mark is talking about a Facebook group. The painting thread was great. Some fantastic painted models. Inspiring. It was actually. So, I was chatting in the Facebook group the other day about just the level of people's painting. So, I see a lot of people who are in the Facebook group posting their pictures. I get to see what they're kind of up to and what they're painting. And it's kind of struck me that there's some really talented painters. And I would say everybody is at a level that when I first kind of started, people's armies didn't look like that. So even people that had been gaming for quite a while weren't really kind of great painters. You always got those few people that were just a different level, and you know, they were the winners of kind of painting competitions. But even if you go back sort of 10-15 years, the models that were winning Golden Demons back then, maybe 20-25 years ago, are nothing like the models these days. So I'll see if I can find the thread, and we'll flick some pictures up from that thread. Here it is. So what we did was, I think the question I kind of posed was, when did everybody get so bloody good, really? So we'll flick through some of the pictures that are in this thread. So this one is Bazza from Underdog Painting. He's painted these guys. I forget what they are now. He did say what the name of them were. Let's have a quick look. These are, I forget what chapter they're from now. But these are stuff that he's been painting up. He also does some commission painting as well, if anybody is interested. Then we've got, he's also done some orcs as well. Kind of, these are the Shadespire orcs, which again, really nice. Then we've got Tim. These are his Star Wars Legion Rebel Troopers. If I remember right, Tim, I'm sure I remember you saying, oh, there, it's in the chat there, it's in the comment really, the first squad you'd painted since the 90s as well. So bear in mind, you're not painted for kind of like 10, 15 years or something, or maybe even more, 20 years. Like, or maybe I'm doing you a disservice. Maybe you were a fantastic painter 20 years ago as well. But they just, they look fantastic. I think the quality of miniatures has made things easier as well. You can certainly pick out the details more now than maybe you used to. But the quality is just, I feel like people have just really, really, like, the level's a different level these days. So we've got Lee here, who is scouting the web when he's normally in the chat here. These are his Beast Claw Raiders. I don't know why I forgot the name of them there. But he's doing a cracking job on those guys. Mark's been painting up some of his excuse me, some of his walkers for Walking Dead. And again, I don't know whether it's the level of detail on the models, but everybody's just paint level is at a completely different level to where it used to be. We've got Carrie here as well, who's been doing some Blood Reavers, is it? I think it is, for Shadespire as well. Fantastic models. Ross, who sent me the mug, taking the mick a little bit, saying he's finally got gutted faces. I think that's a stock photo offline. But he did send this one, which is his Dreadnought, that he's sort of particularly proud of as well. And then there was this one, which is kind of one of those kind of, I don't know how you do that. I'm sure there's some app or something that lets you do that, but it looks fantastic, doesn't it? Let's scroll down a bit more. We've got Tony's been doing some of his Guild Ball stuff there as well. So this is Esther's from the Brewers team, and back of the model as well. Looking good on the shading there, mate, as well. Nicely done. We got Kev as well from. Oh god, my mind's just gone blank there. You all know who Kev is. He's been doing these for Rumble Slam, which is kind of, I think the model's called Chuck, I think it is. He's also been doing some Shadespire stuff as well. And then we've got Andy has been doing some Space Wolves here, some Thunder Wolves. Adam, who I think I've just seen, is Adam in the chat as well? No, maybe not. He's been doing some of these for Necromunda as well. They're looking particularly good. Jean, who is Horrid Person in the chat there, has been doing, is he called a Mum? Is it called Mum Drac or something like that? I forget what it's called now. But basically the big elephant thing from Lord of the Rings. We've got Travis as well. He's been doing this. Love the base on this, really nice, and the highlighting on the armor is fantastic. He's also done another model here as well that a few people commented on with this resin base. Looks like it's kind of blood and skulls. That looks fantastic as well. He's another guy that does a bit of commission painting as well. Scott also did his Stormcast here there in a nice green armor, which is not something you see very often. Nice model there, Scott. Thank you. Kyle, who's probably hiding in the background there, was very shy about sharing this, but I think it's bloody amazing. The fact you can paint something like this and actually get it finished, it's so intricate, because it's the kind of model you have to put together before you start painting. Really, there's not a lot of option on this one to just kind of do it in sub-assemblies, really. But again, fantastic bit of work. We've got Raffles was in doing some of his Broodlord from Space Hulk, like the lightning on the back of the model as well. And then we've got Rob as well, who I think is kicking about tonight. More Walking Dead stuff as well. Really, really clean paint jobs on them, mate. Really just, they always say, like, basically just concentrate on getting the paint in the right places. That's just like, it's just such a clean paint job. Really nice. Robert sharing some of his Star Wars Legion stuff as well. Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed it. Oh, I'll put Mike in as well. Seems he's just added to the list here. This is Ian's from the Drowned Earth. fantastic model. And then this is just kind of showing off as well after I've just said how good Mike was. This will give you an idea about the quality of Mike's painting. So, yeah, I'm sure you'll all agree. Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad. Pretty good, mate. I like that. And let's have a look at the other one as well. Everyone decides to come round. And he's got a Vegas Elvis Nurgle. Thank you very much. They're really nice, mate. Really nice indeed. I might have to pick your brains on what colours you use for them, because I'm going to be painting some up for my son soon. So, let's flick back across here and we'll try and catch up in the chat a bit now. So, Adam's saying longest he's ever done is 18 hours for D&D. Wow, 18 hours. That's hardcore, that, mate. Mike's saying 30k players out there will buy this in their droves. I'm sure there's people have been waiting for this forever. They'll have already put their money aside and stuff. I don't think it's there's no fear that it won't sell out, that's for sure. Tim's saying there's some talented folks in the Facebook group. There certainly is, buddy. Adam's saying are the rules going to be outdated already? No, I don't think they're outdated. I think they basically just kind of put them on hold for a while, really. But it's been tinkered with since then, I think. Gene's saying it's out of my price range, but it does say Grandmaster Edition. Maybe they'll release an essential starter level version. I don't think they're releasing like a starter version. I think it's just all the components are available separately, I think. But it will cost you more if you bought them all separately. Mike's saying 175 quid's fine with me, considering there's 2 models, almost knight size, plus terrain, and a smaller knight. Yeah, I think it is good value for money, mate. If it's a game you're going to play, if it's right up your street, I think it's worth what they're charging. It's just a big outlay in one go, I guess, isn't it? Tony's saying 175 quid isn't bad either if it's going to be your main game, but I reckon there'll be a metric, crap ton of add-ons given it's a GW product. It's what they're there for, mate. They're there to make some money, aren't they? Tim's saying the price puts you off, to be fair. Models look great, but I prefer a newer version of Space Marine, Titans and Troops. I'm not familiar with Space Marine, mate. I'll be honest. I'm not that familiar with the older GW stuff, so I don't remember Space Hulk from the first time around. I don't remember Necromunda or Mordheim or any of that kind of stuff, really. I didn't get into it till much, much later. I missed all that stuff out. Steve was saying, Adam, can I see 18-hour D&D session going quick? We did 6 hours without noticing 2. Was a 2 a.m. finish. I did see your message, Steve, the next day. I completely forgot about Saturday night, and I meant to reply to you and got sidetracked. We'll chat offline. Adam says the people that win Golden Demon now probably don't use Citadel paint. Do you know what? I'm not that sure that. I guess I'll ask you, Mike, because obviously I know your kind of level of paint. What kind of paints do you use? Are you a Citadel kind of aficionado? Do you use Vallejo, Coat d'Arms? What kind of stuff do you use, mate? And do you notice a difference between them? Because my painting isn't at the level where I think I would have a favoured paint type. I think I just like certain colours and from certain manufacturers. Rain is saying send an application to the group. Right, okay, Rain, let's get you in as well so you can share your stuff too. Okay, yep, you're done now. You're in the group too. Tim saying Chase, I was crap back then. Minis and paints are so much better nowadays. Do you think the paints are better? Because I've still got some old Games Workshop Citadel paints of when I first started. And to be fair, they haven't dried out. They've been pretty good. And I'm not sure they've changed that much, if I'm honest. There's definitely the kind of the technical paints and the fact that they've got base paints and layer paints, but I think that's just marketing, I reckon. If you thin any paint down, you'll get a layer paint, won't you? If you've got enough pigment in it, all paints will be base paints, I guess. Art Wilson, good evening, Art. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Says Adeptus Titanicus doesn't interest me, even if it was half the price. More excited about Lord of the Rings release. Yeah, it's probably another topic we can come on to after this as well. Is just the speed of releases from Games Workshop. Are they all aimed at different people, or are they all people like us who buy all sorts of different stuff? Because there's a lot of big sort of big releases all coming very, very quickly, one after the other, isn't it? Gene is saying information available to painters is more readily accessible and it's much easier to learn from each other. Yeah, I think it's definitely easier to kind of share skills and tips and stuff now, I think, isn't it? Back when I first started, you just kind of painted at home. I had one of those Citadel How to Paint Miniatures books, and that was about as good as I got. And a few tips from White Dwarf, that was really about as good as I got. It also says it's called a Mummakill Oliphant. There you go. I knew it was mum something. Michael's back. Said, did I miss something? Did someone show my Strontium dog minis? I'm not sure if I did, mate, actually. I'll have to go back and check for them in a bit. Tony's saying Lord of the Rings relaunch. Would so love to get into that. Yeah, Lee, who I was just chatting about before from our local group, he's really, really kind of, he's chomping at the bit to get into Lord of the Rings, I think, as well. Skull Munch says Middle-earth strategy battle game. Can't wait. There's a shot of the potential starter box out there at the minute. I don't know a lot about Lord of the Rings. I think Mike used to play it, if I remember. I think he was definitely chatting to Lee about it. I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not really sure if it's all new stuff, whether it's old stuff, whether it's new plastics or anything like that. Mike's saying that Alchemist Workshop is offering Adeptus Titanicus for 135 quid. That's a big save in mind, isn't it, as well? It does start to fall down almost into that. Not too bad at all kind of value, I suppose. Mike's saying he sticks strictly to W.A. Smith's poster paints and crayons. That would probably explain why they're so good, mate. Nobody else is using those paints. But he says, seriously, almost 100% GW, some Vallejo airbrush paints too. That's kind of where I am as well. I'm still getting used to thinning down Games Workshop paints through my airbrush, although I feel like I'm kind of at that level now. So my Ultramarines kill team that I've just been painting, I'll shamelessly plug them and get them up on the screen as well while we're talking. The ones I've been painting, so they are pretty much all Games Workshop paints. So these guys here, trying to think if there's anything on here that isn't Games Workshop, isn't Citadel paints. No, everything on here is using GW paints. I do have some P3 paints, and I do have, to be fair, the only thing I did do was I primed them with a Vallejo Ghost Grey primer, but everything else is just thinned down Games Workshop paints. We got the Dog Artisan in. It says, hey up, bud. Nice to see you, Harry. Hope you're well, mate. How's things for you? Kill Team something you're getting involved in? I know you're kind of very much into the main 40k game. Is Kill Team on your horizon? Or are you kind of giving it a wide berth and sticking with the main game, mate? Mike says, YouTube's why people are better at painting in his opinion. Certainly there would be a tiny fraction of people airbrushing if YouTube didn't exist. Yeah, I think airbrushing is certainly something where you almost need to have somebody to point you in the right direction. I decided to take the plunge. That's what I've done with these models I've just shared here. And it took me a little while and a lot of watching and a lot of research to kind of understand what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong. I couldn't have done that without that kind of help. Rain says, I've only been painting since January. After seeing the stand of the group, I'm afraid to post any of my stuff. Do not ever be frightened and don't be put off by anybody else's work. Because everybody's at different levels. Everybody was a beginner once. And the only way you kind of learn and get better is by kind of sharing where you are and asking for kind of tips and stuff. And what I will say is the Facebook group is really, really friendly. There's nobody in there that will kind of sort of point out all of the bad bits and say that's rubbish. People will only give you any kind of advice if you ask for it. They're a great bunch of people in that group, so really friendly. So don't be frightened to post stuff. And always remember, if you're painting to the best of your ability at this given time, then that's fantastic. Never be frightened to kind of, never compare your stuff to other people's. Once you kind of get that into your head, you become a lot more comfortable about painting miniatures and not worrying about kind of trying to get to this Games Workshop heavy metal kind of level and stuff. I struggled for a long, long time to like comparing my stuff to people who were better than me, and I almost kind of gave up at one point. Tim saying, yeah. Mike saying, yep, post some rain. Definitely. Let me know if you put some in the group, and I'll definitely, if you want me to, I'll share them here. Tim saying, absolutely. YouTube's an incredible way to learn. Gene says, quality of paints isn't so much the issue as the paint style. I prefer Vallejo's main range for the more naturalistic hues, but I use paints from most companies since everyone's doing something. Well, yeah, I kind of definitely the color of your base, your primer makes a big difference. I've found by using a ghost gray from Vallejo, my miniatures just look brighter and a bit more vibrant, and I'm liking that kind of color to it rather than using like a black primer all the time. We've got Rich Hudspeth in. Evening, mate. How you doing? Hope you're well, man. Still got your copy of Kill Team in my hallway. So they're waiting for you to pick it up, buddy, or I'll drop it off for you if you want me to. Or if you're coming over on Wednesday, you can collect it yourself. Says the biggest critic is normally yourself, and this community is good and will give you support and tips too. Couldn't agree more with you, mate. Adam says, just looking at the Warhammer community site at the Adeptus tab. I'll just keep saying AT. See, the AT dice look like they could be difficult to read. A lot of Games Workshop dice are difficult to read. They've got this thing about kind of bringing out new dice for everything, and they're not always the best. We did talk about last week, I think it was, the Kill Team dice, and the fact that they've got the Kill Team logo on one side as the 1, I think it is, and then a faction logo as the 6, which I thought made it confusing. And then on the Space Wolf dice, they were like powder blue or baby blue or grey kind of dice with really light coloured numbers, and you couldn't really see them very, very clearly. I didn't think anyway. Michael saying, put the minis in the thread you showed just now. Right, let's flick across back to that one. Then Michael, I'll find them, buddy. Need to find it again. I'll be flicking about while we're talking as well. Mark says, I bought the Mega Paint set from Army Painter. Seems okay, but they split if you don't shake for 24 hours first. I saw that on one of Luke's videos from Luke's APS. He mentioned that they really do separate quite quickly. They do. So Michael's been painting up these guys from Strontium Dog by Warlord Games. It's so long since since I've read the Strontium Dog comic books, I can't even remember who these guys are. So if anybody knows, feel free to point me in the right direction. But yeah, really, really nicely done, buddy. Really nicely done. Harry's saying, Andy, they're brilliant, mate. Get them on my page next week to share in a community video. I will do, mate. Thank you very much for your kind words. Rich says, P3 white is the best white ever. HGW white. I've been using a Vallejo white that I used to do my Stormtroopers, and actually that's been pretty good through my airbrush. I've never used the P3 one, but I have heard, I think it might have been Graham was talking about the P3 one. Steve is saying, give craft paint some love. Great for terrain or scatter. I always use the kind of cheap pound shop tubes of acrylic paint for doing terrain stuff. Anything that's quite big, like trying to think. So my Walking Dead board that I did, one of the first ever videos I ever did, that board was all done with cheap craft paints. Tony says, I wish GW would swap to droppers. I hate those GW pots. I hate them when I'm doing airbrushing. I actually don't mind them. I almost use the lid as a bit of a palette, to be honest, with a little bit of paint in the lid part, and then mix it with water to thin it down. So I've become quite lazy, but it's speeded up my painting. Anthony saying, your Kill Team looks cracking, mate. Nice one. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Mike says, great thing about GW pots, you can put the paint back. Another good tip as well. Yes, you can certainly put the paint back. Adam says, Army Painter seems to have the blackest black. My Abaddon black from Games Workshop seems to have gone really awful. It smells a bit. I think it's gone off. I might have to replace that one, actually. Adam said to Rain, post some more of mine, then yours should look better. Never put your stuff down, buddy. Never put it down. We've got Dustin in from Gamers ADHD. Says, what's the topic? The topic today, mate, is a bit of everything. We've been talking about Adeptus Titanicus. We've been talking about random stuff. We're just going through the Facebook group now with some of the stuff that people have been sharing, the work they've been doing. And we're talking about paint manufacturers and different levels of painting, and not kind of trying not to judge yourself by other people's standards. Be happy with what you're doing, kind of thing. Adam says to Tony, then they'd last longer and you'd have to buy more. Rich says, High Command is given a go for Wednesday evening. Nice one, mate. Welcome along. Anne says, I can paint a lot better, but to be honest, I just can't be arsed to spend a long time doing it. Now I just do base color wash and quick highlighting. I've almost got myself to that level as well. So when I did my Star Wars Legion stuff, it was definitely a bit more speed painted. But I've been taking my time a little bit more with Kill Team stuff because I've only got to do 5 or 6 models. And I'm actually quite enjoying that at the minute. And I am actually, it's kind of motivating me to get them finished. If I had to do a full army, it would be a base coat and a wash, I think, as well, yeah. Yep. Skull Munch is saying, any Blood Bowl players sad about potentially not having Blitzball in the UK? That is a strange move, isn't it? The stuff that they're doing with those 3 or 4 games that they've released that are going out in North America that they talked about at Gen Con. It feels like they're kind of, they know their UK market and they're trying to reach out to North America to try and kind of grow their business elsewhere. Mike saying, Rich, what you playing? Dark Artisan says, Vallejo dead white in an airbrush is good. Yeah, mine might just be a pure white or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to check it. Rain says, okay, posted some pics. Rain, would you like me to share them? And I've seen some people commenting on how they're good. I'll only share them on the stream if you'd like me to. So let me know down in the comments if you don't mind me sharing them. Otherwise, I won't. Rich says, Mike just coming to learn Kill Team. Yeah, so you're welcome along, buddy. Yeah, feel free. I mean, I say the games are 45 minutes. You'll have time to have a game as well. We can go between 3 of us, or if somebody else wants to come along, I'm sure between myself and Mike we'll have enough stuff to get a couple of boards set up as well. Mike's saying, great 2 nights of huts within a row. 2 nights, can you handle it, mate? Can you handle it? Michael's saying, bad thing about GW paints is that they have a lovely crust on the lip, which you can only get rid of with dynamite. And I've just saw Mike saying, but it's so satisfying to peel it out. And I kind of like that as well. Just get the little craft knife on the corner of it and then just peel it around the rim. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Small things that keep you smiling, eh? I just saw that rim of hard paint. Gene saying, hate those GW pots. Planned obsolescence. I don't mind them, I'll be honest. I've never really had one dry out on me, although I have just said that the black one stinks a bit. But I still got some of the old kind of what would you call them? The kind of the hex pots. I've still got quite a lot of them, and they've been fine. But I have always stored them upside down, so I turned them upside down so I could see the color of the paint. But I think what it's done is it's basically created an air seal in the bottom as well, so you don't get any air into them. Rain says, sure, go ahead. Okay, Rain, let's see what you shared. Seems like the Facebook group's quite busy tonight while we're in here as well, so I'm getting notifications coming out my ears. Loading up. Oh. Rain, you have nothing to worry about with these. Bloody hell. If these are the first models you've painted, that I think I'll just quit now. These are fantastic. Do not ever worry about showing your models. Really nice shading on these. Love the color graduation through here. Love the choice of colors as well. Looks very nice. That again, stunning model. Love the, I don't know whether you're copying your kind of paint schemes from somewhere else or whatever, but the color choice is beautiful. Really, really nice. Nice models. I've got no idea what I'm assuming these are board gaming pieces, these ones, but these are fantastic as well. Little things like the kind of, like, you know, highlighting yellow on the orange as well here. Really nice. I like the way you've kind of put on some cobblestone bases. Don't never be worried about sharing your stuff. I wonder what these ones are for. I don't recognize these miniatures. Are these for a board game, or are these for D&D or something like that, Rain? Another nice model as well. Yeah, can't believe that these are the first paint jobs and you're worried about them. A little bit of Imperial Assault, nice bit of weathering on there as well. A little bit of tufts on the basing, like the kind of rust marks and stuff as well. Buddy, nothing to be worried about there. Definitely nothing to be ashamed of. Fantastic paint jobs. Jean is saying older pots were excellent. Yeah, they were pretty good, to be fair. Adam is saying I like the snap from the super glue lid as I have to glue it shut. I use Gorilla gel glue for super glue, but I do use the Games Workshop plastic glue with it. Now they've got the nozzles on them like the Revel glues, only because it's easy to pick up. Yeah, everybody's saying how fantastic those models are. Do not worry about that, buddy. And Tony's saying Grim Forest minis are awesome. That's obviously what they are, and I've never heard of them. So good stuff. Good stuff. So then, have we got? Has this chat stopped scrolling for you guys down the side there again as well? It sometimes does that, doesn't it? Never mind. How are we doing for time? Oh, just after 10 o'clock. We're not doing bad at all. So we've got a nice little group of chatters in tonight. Some new faces in here tonight. So I don't think Rich has been in before. Mike's not been in. Nice to get some of the local gang in as well. Christian is saying he loves those Grim Forest pigs. There you go. Grim Forest pigs is what they are. Rin saying the pigs and the dragon are from Grim Forest. Small ones from 7th Continent. I've seen the 7th Continent game. They really do look quite small miniatures in combat. It might be just the photograph, but they seemed quite small miniatures as well. The Minotaur is from Lords of Hellas. Thanks all. Got some more motivation now. You should be really proud, buddy. Do not put yourself down or be worried about sharing pictures. They are excellent. Especially if you, as you say, you're still relatively kind of new to the game and that as well. So, Michael is asking where you're from, Rain. He said that his father lives in Hankasalmi. Did I pronounce that right? And Mike says he's never coming back again either. Well, I don't blame you, to be fair, mate. You've got to put up with Hudspeth 2 nights in a row. You've got me coming down through the TV screen tonight. Again on Wednesday as well, face to face. Don't blame you, buddy. Just make it a one-off, eh? You come in here, show off with your fancy painting. And Rich said he's normally a lurker. I didn't realise, Rich. I didn't know you kind of hung around in the background, mate. I know Lee sometimes comes in when he's painting. Kyle sometimes does a bit of chat as well, but normally kind of painting in the background. It's nice to see some bit of chat tonight from you all. So I appreciate it. Where was I? What was I going to talk about there as well? So, yeah, so I asked a question in the Kill Team chat today on Facebook that seemed to generate a lot of discussion. And there's a few rules in Kill Team that seem to be, they're either confusing because people have different opinions on them, and they're potentially very clear, but people have alternative opinions on the rules, or they're not very clear and people have alternative opinions on the rules. So I did a video the other day about kind of 6 rules that beginners sometimes get wrong. Even in there, I had to kind of tweak the video a little bit as well. I kind of it maybe wasn't as accurate as it could have been. So for my second version of the video, or the 6 more rules, I've really been trying to do some kind of really firm, concrete digging to make sure I do not get any of these rules wrong. But by God, did it set off a chat of like over 100 comments of backwards and forwards. Some of the rules, I would say, they're quite difficult. They're quite spaced out, and they don't flow naturally. You really do have to read the rule book a few times over to see the references to the same rule in multiple different places. And there's some rules that are kind of, it's like this all of the time, except when this happens. And there's quite a bit of having to kind of flick backwards and forwards. So I'm going to be having another video about rules coming out soon. I've also got the competition giveaways to sort out as well. So I've got the rule book, the core rule book as a giveaway. I've also got the hobby case, the carry case as well, as a giveaway as well. So I've got them coming up on the channel soon. I'm off work on Friday. I've got a day off. I'm going down to Nottingham to visit Riverhorse to do some filming with them guys. They have a Kickstarter coming out in the near future that they would like me to go and film some videos on. So I'm looking forward to going down to see those guys. I've never been to Riverhorse before, so that'll be a nice change. What else is going on? I've just ordered a folding gaming table as well. So as you know, I made a gaming table which is now in my garage because my hobby room where I am now is kind of set up more like a bit of a studio at the minute now. However, the garage is not the best place to kind of like, certainly not to film or anything like that in. So I've decided to invest in a folding gaming table. So when that arrives, I'll be doing a review of that. It is from Urban Mats. So I'll show you which one it is. Find it. You've probably seen it before. I think there's. I'll bring it up so you can see which one I've purchased. So this is the table that I've bought, and I'll do a review, and I'll let you know what I think of it as well. But it means that I can use it when I'm playing either in my conservatory at home. I can put it in the living room where there's plenty of light, where there's plenty of space, and I can pack it up as well and store it away when it's not being used. So that means I will be able to film some battle reports of maybe Star Wars Legion, get some bigger games in. Maybe get some of the guys over to get some games of AOS in, and I'll do the film while they play, and then I can edit them down. Maybe get some 40k games filmed as well, and I can also use it as well for when we're having a games night at home and we're playing either board games or we're playing a couple of games of Kill Team side by side. So yes, I can certainly fit those in as well. So I'll have that coming soon as well at some point. What we've got in the chat here. Art is saying the new Lord of the Rings starter set, Battle of the Pelennor Fields, has been released in September. Mostly old plastics plus the new King Theoden model. So yeah, we've just been talking about that. So we've had Kill Team in July. We've got Adeptus Titanicus in August. We've got Lord of the Rings in September. We'll probably have Rogue Trader, I'm guessing November. So that leaves October and December for releases. I wonder what we've got coming then. What do you think might be? What do you think we might see in those months? Because there's bound to be some big releases. They always have something every month. So it'll be interesting to see what we get in between those two. In those 2 months. Let's see. Rich is saying painting some daughters, just getting some daughters painted tonight. Harry's saying he's painting some too. Rich has got 30 snake bridges on the go. Tony's saying he's all over Lord of the Rings like a cheap suit. Nice. I love that as a turn of phrase. Very nice. Michael's saying, oh, he's having a chat about donuts. Mark says, see if you can check out their Highlander miniatures. So they had a few on their Facebook lately. I will do, mate. That's not the game I'm going down for, but I'm planning to get there for about 9:30, and I've got a full day to do filming. So I've got an interview and a gameplay to do for the game that they're going to launch on Kickstarter, and then I'm hoping to also get some other bits of interviews and maybe some other gameplay stuff while I'm there as well. I'll try and catch up with what I can. Michael is saying the Reaper European headquarters is based in Nottingham. Didn't realise that, mate. And he says Urban Mat's the biggest Xerox machine in miniature land. Mark says, Andy, are you at Mantic at the end of the month? I haven't got any plans to go to Mantic. I was trying to tie in a trip to Mantic on Friday as well while I was down in Nottingham. But I think because I've got so much filming to do, I'm not going to be able to make it across. So I might have to make a separate trip separately to Mantic, I think. Adam says, what does everyone think of Luke's APS line of terrain products? Personally, I think it's great he's taking on the big boys. I think it's fantastic, mate. Luke has really carved out himself a spot, really. He's gone from kind of showing cheap ways to do things to then investigating alternative products that do the same job as the more expensive stuff, to the point where he's carved himself out a nice little business in supplying them now. And they're obviously fantastic. He's doing really well. And it's really good to see somebody kind of making a go of this kind of stuff and really, you know, like going from where he made a couple of videos to kind of show how he painted some dwarves for Kings of War to within a year or so, nearly not quite 2 years, I don't think. Like he's, you know, over 50,000 subscribers, got a side business running, like making kind of sort of terrain accessories and stuff. Absolutely fantastic. I'm kind of kind of proud for him, really, if you know what I mean. He's doing a great job. Rich says, be good to see it when you get it. It was just on about a cheap second-hand dining table for the garage, but like the idea of a fold-up, we can bring it inside easy and get a couple of games on the go. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. I might potentially even at some point, I might even sell the one I made if anybody even wanted it, but it's more just this is because it folds in 4 as well. So let's go, because it folds up into 4 pieces, and it pick up the screen, and it folds up to that size. It's easy to store. I mean, that'll store under the sofa or something like that, or even in the garage. So I'm quite. That was why I decided to go for that one rather than an alternative one. There is another company does folding gaming tables, but they only fold in half. That was why I went for that one. So we've got Phil saying, yeah, cool table. How big is it? 6x4. It is 6x4, mate. Mike says big codexes, Space Wolves and Orcs. Of course, I forgot they were coming. You think we won't get 2 in a month, will we? Or maybe that'll be the 2 months that we're missing. I think that'll be Orcs for December then, maybe, eh? September, October. Yeah, actually, it depends on if you classify Kill Team as a 40k release, because 40k hasn't had much for a little while, has it? What was the last codex we got? That was quite a little while ago. Art says to Tony, they're unboxing the old Lord of the Rings Infinity models, so you now get 24 for 25 quid. Nick is saying, don't forget GW is releasing Orcs in like 2025. Orcs are coming this year, aren't they? I'm pretty certain they're coming this year. Orcs and Space Wolves are the last 2 codexes. They're the only ones that are left in the old indexes. Is that right? Rin says, hoping for a new updated skirmish game for AOS. Just mentioned that briefly earlier on, Rin. I would like to see it with the success of Kill Team. It wouldn't surprise me if that's on their radar. Tim says was tempted by the folding table. Still need to find a 6x4 gaming dining table. Come on, IKEA, sort it out. Yeah, I remember the petition, wasn't it, online for IKEA to make a gaming table. So yeah, we'll see what that table's like when it comes. I'll do a review of it, and we'll take it from there. I'll let you know whether I would recommend it or not. What I would say is that actually the postage is not particularly cheap to the UK. I think it's about €26 postage or something like that. But I guess it's a big box. It's not like you're shipping over kind of some miniatures, is it? Rin says that a new reel for Shadespire, or new realm for Shadespire, sorry. And Anth says he's off. See you all next time. Thanks for popping in, Anth. Speak to you soon, buddy. Michael is saying, I was a dealer for Urban Mats, but that guy keeps copying all the other mats around when they come out. Especially Game Mat is being hunted. New terrain, Urban Mats has the same. New swamp. I guess nothing's copyrighted though, is it? I guess in that kind of world when you're just doing tables and stuff like that. When you're doing mats, I suppose. And if they can churn them out cheap enough, then I guess that's how it is. Rich is just asking how much the table is. So the table is €140 plus shipping on top of that. What I will say is I did get a discount on that price. So I didn't actually pay that, but that's how much it is. Mike says Genestealer Cult 2 no codex. I didn't realize they were still missing. I guess then Genestealer, because I'm sure it was the plan to have them all done by the end of this year, because that could potentially if there's no new models coming out, they would potentially do 2 codexes in a month, would they? Maybe. Adam says Orcs have to have a big release with new models. Do you think we'll see that? Do you think they'll go with new Orc models? We've got Josie in. Says, hey, sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about being late. Nice you've called in. We're going to go for about 10 more minutes or something like that, so you haven't missed it all. You're here just in time while we're having a bit of a ramble and a bit of a chat at the end. Nick is saying Genestealer Cult is still in the Index Army. And Green Stuff saying, Game says, how's it going? It's going very well. Thanks, Josie. I got your message to say that you received your bag as well, so you won the Kill Team bag giveaway that we had about 3 or 4 chats ago. So I'm glad that arrived. It seemed to take a little while from when I sent it out. So I'm glad I got there. Mark says, how's you? You just finished your Walking Dead unboxing videos. Need to check them ones out, Josie. I've not seen them. Mike says they previewed new Genestealer Cult new model a month or so ago. Is it just like a hero model or something like that, Mike? Is it, or what, are they doing like new units or anything like that? I guess that means it's going to be coming pretty soon. So it wouldn't surprise. I mean, we are only in August, I suppose, aren't we? It feels like we're talking about the end of the year already. There's plenty of time to get 3 codexes out now, isn't there, between now and the end of the year? And I guess in that time as well, there's still going to be more AOS stuff coming out as well. I wonder what's left for AOS. Are there much going to be coming for AOS this year, do we think? I mean, the 2.0 rules have kind of shook things up a little bit. I wonder if we'll get anything else on there as well. Tony's just been looking. There's a lot of 3D printer files for Gaslands. Do you know what? I was looking at a 3D printer not long ago because just because of like kind of the ease of terrain. The one I was looking at was only something like 300 quid, and it had like absolutely cracking reviews, really, really good. I was thinking, by the time you buy like a load of terrain, would 3D printing be better? Michael is saying Wave 5 for Walking Dead's on pre-order now from today. Josie's saying, Mark, yep, there's a lot more I need to do. Thanks so much for watching them. Anybody wants to head across and check out Josie's channel? Again, if you let me just do this and then you can see exactly what I'm doing. So if you go across to the chat where you've got Green Stuff Games, if you click on the little 3 dots there, it gives you the option to go to the channel. I urge you to right click it and say open in a new window so you don't go away from my channel. But yeah, go across, check out Josie's channel and drop a subscribe if you're into Walking Dead stuff as well as AOS stuff. Josie's been doing some Nighthawk models as well. Mike says big Christmas splurge too. Plastic Primarch, Rogue Trader expansion for Kill Team. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming, isn't there? Games Workshop are on a roll at the minute. There is so much stuff coming out. Yeah, there's definitely there's got to be some more of the Primarchs coming, hasn't there? Mark says he's got an Ender 3 in your wish list. I think it was the Ender 3 I was looking at, mate. I think that was the one that I'd looked at. Adam's saying hopefully Vulcan. Mike saying Russ probably seems most likely. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, Russ, with the Space Wolf stuff coming as well. But Vulcan lives. And Broken Legion of Gamers is saying good night, guys. Got to run. See you guys next week. Yeah, check out Broken Legion of Gamers as well. He's got a Mantic week coming up as well. Talking about Walking Dead. Talking about Vanguard coming early as well. But yeah, if you're into Mantic games, there's a Mantic week coming on Broken Legion of Gamers. You can see the name just down here. Thanks for coming in, Nick, man. Nice to have you. So, last 5 minutes or so. Let me, so Josie's saying, thanks for the shout. I've got 399 subs, so maybe you just push me to 400. Let's have a check, Josie. Let's have a check and see where you are. I'd love it if you got the 300 subs, 400 subs tonight. Let's see. Josie. There you go. 400 subs. Congratulations. You've hit a milestone. So, if anybody hasn't already subscribed, please do head across. There's all sorts of stuff here. As you can see, we've got some Age of Sigmar stuff, Nighthorn stuff, Burrows and Badgers. We've got some stuff here about Walking Dead. Plenty of stuff to keep everybody occupied. So congratulations, Josie, on the 400 subscribers. Steve's saying Ender 3 can print nice minis. I think I've seen something about like there's some settings for it. It's quite a rigid frame and stuff, and that is pretty good. Tony's saying I use my 3D printer a lot for small terrain bits like barrels and stuff, and useful gaming bits. I forgot, yeah, if Steve, both you and Tony have got 3D printers. I forgot about that. It says he's printing some Gaslands dice at the moment. Probably a bit light though. Kyle says, think I've got the Hanger Forge World resin. Few strange looks from the wife while using her hairdryer. Yeah, I bought like a little travel hairdryer specifically for drying miniatures when I'm painting them and stuff. I got some strange looks when I went into the shop to buy a hairdryer, I can tell you. Adam says, little plug, I'll hopefully have my blog up next week. Get a link into it in the Facebook group, mate. Next Monday when we're in the chat. If it's up and running, we'll give it a plug in here as well, okay, buddy? We've got Neil in. It's his first game and first round of kill team complete. Knackered going back and forward around the game. How did you get on, mate? Did you win? How did you find the rules? Which bits did you find confusing? How long did it take you? Green Stuff Games Josie says, woo, live on BlackJack Legacy. There you go. It's there for prosperity now. You'll always be able to come back and say, this was the one where I hit 400 subscribers. Kyle says, a beard dryer. To be honest, it dries with a bit of a kind of a quick brush with a towel, to be fair. It's getting a lot of grey in it though, isn't it? I almost shaved it off at the weekend. I had this kind of urge to shave my beard off. What do you think? Yeah or nay? Beard on, beard off. I wouldn't kind of be clean shaven. I'd probably have a bit of stubble, but I'm kind of going through ready for a change. I've had the beard for quite a while now. Mark says he's got some CR10 prints. I'll get them on the group. Thank you very much, Mark. My fave is a dice tower. And Tim is saying congrats to Josie on the 400 subscribers. Yeah, 400 subscribers. The first 100 is tough. It's tough going. And then after that, it's just the kind of, you just have to keep on the hamster wheel, don't you? Just keep the wheel spinning and keep the videos coming, and then everything else seems to kind of follow from there. Kyle says, beard envy, mate, leave it. A bit patchy, mate, but yeah, the minute I shave it off, I will regret it, I know that. Steve says he's got a FlashForge Creator Pro. Nice work, horse printer, wanting an Anycubic Photon. Bloody hell, because I've got my teeth in tonight. To print resin, which still put off by resin costs. I've heard they stink as well. I was watching a video about resin printers, and it said that it's quite nauseous, the smell of it as it's kind of going off as well. And Josie says, even when I wake up tomorrow and it's down to 398. No, I'm sure you'll be. Mine jumps around all over the place. I'm kind of going through a bit of a weird patch at the minute where my subscribers is all over the place. Don't worry about it. Don't look at it day by day. That's what I had to stop doing. Don't look at it day by day. And Adam says, I'm 34 and it's mostly white underneath. You sure it's your beard you're talking about? You mean like down below? Well, I've got a few years on you, mate. I'm nearly 10 years older than you. But they're starting to come through. I'm sure they're probably on the top as well if I let them grow long enough to find out. But I can't really. I kind of like, it's a little bit thin here. The rest of it's fine, but it's a bit thin here. So the whole lot just comes off now. Mark says, resin is very smelly though, and the PLA are very loud. I never thought of resin as 3D printers as being loud, to be honest. I don't think I really kind of considered that. Maybe we wanted just to stick in the garage and forget about it when it's doing it. Green Stuff Games says, I better get shopping for a giveaway. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, everybody wants a giveaway, don't they? Everybody wants a giveaway. So then, folks, we might as well come to kind of start to wrap that up now. Oh, look, just looking at my channel, I'm coming up to a little bit of a milestone soon as well. I'm really kind of trying to make that push to get. I would love to get. Should I even say it? Am I kind of wishing to get? I would love to get 4,000 subscribers this year. So I'm on at the minute. I'm on 2,790, and when things are going quite well, I normally get about 200 subscribers a month when things are going. Like if I get some videos up like Kill Team where it's a popular game, my subscriber numbers go up a bit quicker. So if I who knows, I'm almost at 2,800. Really proud of that. Very, very proud of that. I'm almost at 250,000 views, which absolutely blows me away every time I look at it. I would love to get the 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year if possible. Fingers crossed. A bit of hard work, who knows. Michael says he's got grey hair and a blood red Viking beard. You could always shave the head, mate, and dye the beard, couldn't you? Make the beard a blood red. I was going to say dye it red. A nice red beard, a good Viking beard. Nothing wrong with that. Mine's definitely going the other way with the grey, mate. So if you've come here for beard tips, you've come to the right place. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll call it there. It's 10:30. A good bit ramble tonight, guys. Really enjoyed it. It's nice just to have a live chat now and again that doesn't have a kind of topic, and we'll just have a bit of a random chat about what's happening. I'll get a post up on the Facebook group so we can have a chat about what we're going to do for next Monday. Be nice to have a nice meaty topic I think for next week. If you haven't checked out my review of Brothers board game, please go across and check it out. It's a really good game. Anybody that's kind of looking to get like game and family, non-game and family members, kids, kind of wives, husbands, partners, whatever. It's a nice little game, so go over and check that out. And again, thanks to all of my Patreons as well, who've again helping me to do things like go down to see River Horse Games this weekend, and also to be able to get my gaming table so that I can do more filming and battle reports in the house instead of a dirty, scruffy garage. So, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks very much.